and welcome back to Auto Social UK. Now this is not something I have on my channel every day. This is the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, the quickest, most ludicrous Cayenne that Porsche have ever produced, with a 0 to 62 time of just 3.1 seconds. Now I've managed to get my hands on this today, but literally for 35 minutes. So let's see how much we can cram into a video in 35 minutes. The Cayenne Turbo GT brings a raft of developments that have already shown their worth at the Nürburgring, where the car recently established a new lap record for production-based SUVs, with a time of just 7 minutes and 38.9 seconds. That's more than 3 seconds quicker than the Audi RS Q8 managed in 2019. It may be the quickest, but it isn't quite the most powerful. The 680 horsepower Turbo SE hybrid remains top dog, but the GT's 640 is definitely not to be sniffed at. And because it doesn't have the weight that comes with the hybrid, it sprints from 0 to 62 0.5 seconds faster. So right away you'll notice that the GT has those massive 22-inch gold alloy wheels, which just shouldn't work, but somehow look absolutely fantastic. And do you know what else shouldn't work? The yellow ceramic brakes, but still it all ties in really nicely and somehow still manages to be elegant despite being such a big vehicle. You've got carbon door mirrors and a carbon roof, and these wheels are actually an inch wider than you'll find on the standard Turbo Cayenne. And then there's the additional 0.45 degrees of negative camber. The 22-inch Pirelli P0 Corsa tyres are bespoke to the car, and the carbon ceramic brakes have been tuned to suit its size, weight and performance. Other changes are equally governed by the need for speed, including larger front air intakes, a new diffuser and an extended tailgate spoiler that generates real downforce, 40 kilograms more at top speed. So Porsche claim that this is the most agile Cayenne they've ever built. Now it comes with adaptive air suspension and it's actually 17mm lower than the standard Cayenne, but it's also 7mm lower than even the GTS. The suspension is 10% stiffer than on the turbos when you're in normal mode, and the gap widens to 15% when you use the steering wheel mounted rotary switch to move it all the way into Sport Plus. As well as all of that, it also offers quite a better sounding exhaust note, and that's because it's got an upgraded aluminium twin exhaust, which actually also saves weight by 18 kilograms. Inside there's a new sports steering wheel that houses the sports response button as seen on all Porsche's hottest models, as well as electronically adjustable sports seats up front and 2 individual seats in the rear. Interior stitching and seatbelts are available in gold or grey, while new Alcantara accents hint at the new variant's performance aspirations. Also helping to differentiate this version from other Cayennes are the Turbo GT logos throughout the cabin, a red button on the drive mode selector, and the lack of metal around the air vents. Everything else, however, is very similar to the Cayenne Coupe, including the centre console's sporty handlebars. So what is so special about the Cayenne Turbo GT? Well, it gets a 4-litre V8 engine, which produces 631 brake horsepower and 850 newton-meters of torque. And that gives it a 0 to 62 time of just 3.1 seconds. This thing is ludicrously fast. In fact, if you wanted an SUV that's faster, the Lamborghini Urus gives you just 10 brake horsepower more. Wow, this thing has some power. Changes made to the engine include the adoption of a modified crankshaft, additional turbocharger boost pressure and subtle tweaks to the fuel injection, induction and intercooler. 4-wheel drive is standard, naturally, along with an 8-speed automatic gearbox that's been recalibrated for quicker shifts. As a result, the 0 to 62 comes out at just 3.1 seconds and you'll max out at 186 miles per hour. The suspension is 10% stiffer than on the standard Cayenne, and you can really feel that on the road. And you might be wondering, so how does the Cayenne handle considering it's such a large and reasonably heavy vehicle. Well, actually, it handles surprisingly well. It doesn't feel like a big vehicle out on the road. It's got a really low centre of gravity, and that means that it handles brilliantly. This car is packed full of chassis tech. That means 3 camber air suspension, rear wheel steering, torque vectoring by braking, active anti-roll bars and a water-cooled differential, as well as those carbon brakes. Now all of this car comes in at a price just shy of £144,000. Now that sounds like a lot of money, and that's before you add some of the extras that Porsche offer, because of course in classic Porsche style, not everything is standard and it can get even pricier. Although the standard price is still £20,000 cheaper than the Lamborghini Urus. I guess the strange thing to note is, where does this car fit in? Because how many people need a ludicrously fast SUV? And it does feel a little bit like that. I've always kind of felt like that with the Lamborghini Urus. It's very showy, and I kind of feel like the Cayenne Turbo GT is the same, because it doesn't really have any real purpose. You're not going to go off-roading in this vehicle, but then it's not really like a weekend car that you can enjoy. I mean, nothing does soft-top roadster like a weekend car, so it does leave it feeling just a little bit redundant, but unbelievable nonetheless. It's quite funny actually, this car feels like it's got almost too much power for the road. I mean, I haven't even put this car in the sports mode. This is just normal, and it's absolutely pushing me just to go so quickly. I can't imagine why you'd ever need the sports mode. So that was my really quick walk around of the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. And I feel so lucky to have been able to drive this car. What an absolute weapon. It's been a brilliant experience. Please guys, let me know, what do you think of this Porsche down in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more videos like this? Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This isn't the only car that I'm driving today, and I can't wait to bring you so many more videos. So please join me on the journey. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.